Welcome to the Three River Valley series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 15th of March 1948, and we've managed to come through another winter without, I don't think we actually even lost any population, but I don't think it actually grew. We actually take a look. I think it just stayed flat, which is acceptable for a winter. And considering the fact that we were in risk due to food shortages in this main shopping mall, but you can see here putting in the distribution office for dedicated food and clothes supplies actually fixed that problem. Now, during the winter, I did pick up on a couple of problems that we're going to need to fix. But the other thing I really want to do in this part is start working on this area here for two reasons. One, that we are running out of accommodation, and two, we really need to start thinking about bringing the iron online. Plus, I've got a little bit of an idea for what I want to do here. But before that, as usual, a big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys give me a lot to think about. Now, a couple of you pointed out the fact that I'd actually not connected this up to this substation here. So this won't have power. But I've been looking at it and I've actually realized that this doesn't actually have any trucks going to it at the moment. So at the moment, I'm not going to rush and try and fix this. In fact, we've got the wind turbine there, which will guarantee power. So there's a very real possibility that we may turn this into waste material when the new update comes out. The other questions I got was related to the fact that my steel mill hasn't been connected to the rail line. Also, my construction industry here is a little bit isolated. And the reason for that is that if you're going to build a pretty big economy, this steel mill is pretty close to useless. It's all right for driving local construction and getting off the ground, but it's not really ever going to pull it together with respect to supplying steel right across the whole economy. That's going to be a job of the heavy industry up in this area here, where we're going to have a lot more space to do things. So that's the main reason why this isn't connected to a rail network. I mean, I did get a suggestion about putting in a mechanical component factory, and I think quite like that. That might be the long-term destiny of this steel mill, is to, well, just provide mechanical components, possibly for electronics industry, possibly just for export. Although, having said all that, I do have an open store up here, which I put in deliberately for the export of bricks and prefabs. But this isn't going to be a long-term solution. Again, the bricks and the prefabs will eventually be built somewhere else, but I think it'd be enough to keep us going. Now, the reason these aren't, now the one of the reasons why I don't like connecting up this starting construction zone to the railways is that, as I say, it's really meant for building the local areas. So what we're going to do is use it here, and we're going to need it to build this town. We're probably going to build another town down around here, and of course we're going to be building quite a major city over here in this space because we've got oil there. So I mean, it's possible that this construction site will go out of use eventually. I think the real problem's been space. You can see how compact in this area is. So that's one of the reasons why I don't try to get the perfect steel industry or construction site going. Unless, of course, like, for example, if we were started up here, then yes, I would be looking to, because we got a coal mine here, an iron mine, but again, it's not massive, but it would be enough to possibly put a proper steel industry in this area connected to rail. And also I would be looking at building a big construction industry here. In fact, probably going forward, when we kind of get up here, we've got this road network here, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe we'll get a major gravel production center here, which could eventually produce all the gravel for the rest of the map, because we can put lots of gravel quarries here and go out that way. If we could sort out the coal, we might do. The other thing I might consider is, because we got the space here, is actually putting in concrete and asphalt plants, but with enough space to put in helicopter landing points. Because one thing you do need to remember is, is that one of the big problems is that you've always got to keep moving your concrete and your asphalt plants out as you expand your economy. And one way around that is to actually use helicopters to deliver the asphalt and concrete, because helicopters can travel relatively quickly all the way across the map. And that's something I will be looking at. But of course, we're in 1949. Technically, helicopters were still in the early phase of development. In fact, I'd be pretty sure that we don't actually have any helicopters to build anyway, even if we could afford to build it. So yeah, so a big thank you for all that feedback, guys. As usual, I just like you guys challenging me, because it makes me review what I'm doing. But I do want to emphasize that I don't build final builds when I'm first starting out. When I build areas like this, and even up here, I accept that these are going to change over time. Industries are going to go out of fashion. Like up here, eventually this power station will disappear, possibly even the brickworks up here, and unless I leave it just for making some money by exporting bricks. I must admit, I do have this evolutionary approach when it comes to getting my economy up and running, and I've got no qualms about knocking buildings down. Like this little area here may get knocked down sometime in the future when it's no longer required. Anyway, let's just get down to two problems which I identified during the winter. The first one is my quarry up here has a little bit of a problem. In fact, I think we might just be starting to, yeah. So you can see. So I need to get more gravel or stone or quarry stone on it. Where are you going? Oh, yeah. One thing I do need is that I need to replace this guy, because during the winter this guy actually wandered all the way down to the gas station over here, and I think it was down to the fact that when he decided that he wanted fuel, this wind turbine wasn't operating. So we're going to need to replace that wind turbine here. In fact, that will be something that we need to do. So that's the one thing I identified with winter. This is one thing I like about winters. You don't get much done, and I know I don't show it very often, but winter is always that time of year which exposes the weaknesses in your economy. And the other thing come wrong way, is the fact that I need another orphanage, because if I can find the orphanage in here, we're already getting there, and I'm getting constant messages all the time now, which is filling up my bar here. There's not enough tutors for orphanages, and that can mean two things. One, that you're not getting enough tutors into here, but you can see these are maxed out, and the other one is that it's kind of hinting that you need more orphanages because the economy is growing. So what I thought I'd do is, we are getting to a point now where we can use some fairly more modern buildings. So I'm kind of thinking an orphanage in here, if it would work. Let's just drop an orphanage in here. Just drop that in there. Get the road built. Is this on auto detect? Yeah. Now, one thing I did do in the winter is we finished this construction site here, and the pavers and all the other stuff which was over here, I've now moved this. So this is an empty. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of you as well. That's going to make a little bit more space. And I think the other one was just here, so I've kind of opened up this space here. We're working on this pipeline here. Now, the problem with this pipeline is down simply to the fact, well, part of the delay was the fact that I ran out of gravel, which then started to delay some of the base level constructions. Now the other thing I want to do is, I don't know, I think what I had to do was run the jobs down to preserve the gravel. What I do want is, we got this here. I want to build this and this, this and this. The reason for that is I want to start filling this up with gravel for our construction office over here as well. Anyway, oh, the other thing I've also done is the distribution office that was here, I've now rebuilt here, and this is the one distributing the coal to the water purification plant and to the prefab factory here. Oh, not prefab, cement factory, sorry. Anyway, so that is the problems solved. What I'm a bit leery about this area. Okay, we've now got this set up. I think what I am going to do is, I have, sorry I'm keep flipping across the map, but now these excavators here, that they're so slow, they're not, this is a steam shovel, yeah, but what they are good for is quarries. So they're not worth, so what you need to do is just send that there. But what I am going to do is put a substation up here, I think. Then we can get rid of this wind turbine, and we'll have a more reliable power supply up here. Let me just see. I want to make sure, because we may want to put another quarry up there. So I think if we put this about there, put a mud road in, and then we'll run a, I want a full 235 or the 120, 150. It's 150 there. 65, 95, 145. I think that last chance to buy. And I think what we can do is, I want to go out like that, across like that. Of course, because these are so small and pokey pinokey, I want to make sure that it's connected. Build that. Where's it gone? There it is. Build that. What that will do is ensure that we've got power here. What I'm going to need to do now is put a couple of what we call it's up here. Sorry, brain faded a little bit there. See what we got in the way of dumpers. Capacity. Now we don't really need a lot in the way of speed because the distance is really short. What we're really interested in is capacity. We've got a toucher here for 18,000. Steam dumper. I think we're going to get a couple of toucher 115s. Oops, that messed that up a bit. We'll have to send them to the depot. Send them. Just let them run for the moment. They're going to wander off and get fuel. So that is the current situation. The other one problem we will be getting is that I don't think I've got a lot more space here either. I think this area is filling up very quickly now. Yeah, I think that's the only buildings. We only got enough space for 60 more workers, so I think it's time to, what's this, 114 tons of prefabs, 148. I think what we're gonna have to do is start building that as well, get that underway. But Well, we've got happiness is up to 180%. Loyalty is 55%. So that should be enough to keep these guys occupied for a little while. Wow, they're not hanging around, are they? I think what we might do is use this office to move the gravel to there in the short term. Anyway, let me just get over to here and where we're going to be trying to focus. Now, I want to do several things in this area. We were still building this road up here. I had to suspend this road because of the gravel shortage, but you can see it's not exactly doing much at the moment. Now, what I want to do is start planning my city here. Now, I've done a quick calculation, and I think to support the mines, the ore processing, and of course all the other infrastructure, we're probably thinking, let me just look at my notes. I did do a calculation. I think we're looking at a minimum of 4,000 population, possibly 5. I'm a bit worried about that fire. Where's the fire? Oh, it should be okay. It's in the center. I get a little bit worried when you get fire. I notice a fire because sometimes it means that if it's too remote, it would be a bit of a problem. Yeah, so we're probably talking about a population of 4,000 or 5,000 by the time we put all the infrastructure in and stuff like that. So that's the first thing I need to consider. Now, one decision I do need to make is where we're going to dump the sewage. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have to cheat a little bit here, because I don't really want to dump. See, we're already dumping sewage there. Now I could run a massive pipeline all the way down from there all the way through to here, but I don't think it's really going to be worth it, to be honest. What I'm going to do is we're going to do a kind of slightly over the top approach. And if we come to here, what we're going to sewage, where is it? Sewage discharge. What we got here is a terrestrial discharge. And well, I'd like to put it here, but the trouble is I mean, it'd be brilliant to put it there. Or maybe, not sure. I mean, if we put it there, because I don't think these ever burn down. But what we'd have to do is, if we could, that's what I was worried about. Too steep an incline, yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah, that's what I was worried about, was whether this cliff would get in the way. So what we're going to have to do is come to about here. And then we use mud footpaths plan. And we're gonna have to kind of walk our way up the hillside here. Something like that. The advantage with that is that we shouldn't have any problem with gradients, because this point is a lot lower than the rest of the actual town itself. Now the next bit is going to be fun, because I kind of copped out when I built this down here with respect to the conveyors. So what I want to do next is put in the conveyor line that will bring the iron ore down from the hill, because we need to plan that before we plan the cableway that will take the workers up to the top. Now I've been kind of looking at this, and we've got an iron mine over there, an iron mine over there. So what I'm thinking is that I want multiple connections, and probably the easiest way to do this would be to, what am I on about? What am I looking for? Is a large aggregate plant. And what I'm hoping is that if I can put that, say, on the side of the hill like that, pointing down that way. Well, half bricks. And we have to try and get in on the green. There we are. So that gives us, and the idea is, in fact, I'll put this in next, is we put that up high. Not convinced that's, I think I'd rather come out with a something. The reason I'm putting this in is I want this in first, because what we'll have eventually is another conveyor there that will run out to these. So these will come into here, drop off into here, which this will act as an intermediate store. If I close the road off. No, okay. Next thing, don't really need. Put that in there. The reason for putting that in will make sense in a little while. Now the next bit is we got to get down off the side of this mountain with the conveyor. I think I'm going to do it with the. We've got to. So, wondering if I can. That. Get it about there. Make sure get a road out off the. One of the problems with going up slopes is that actually, yeah, we can get the road off there. That's good. Yeah, one of the problems when you go into slopes like that is that you put the conveyor in and then you find out that you can't actually. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. I think that's a bit risky, so I think I'll be quite happy to put a conveyor there and then go back to there. Right, that's good. That gives us the conveyor connection that comes down to here, which will put the iron ore into here, which then will be processed in these buildings. I think I've forgotten what the setup here is now. Iron ore processing plant, and then that goes back to there. There's a conveyor missing from here. Let's see if that's right. That comes, oh, there's an input missing from here. So we need an input from there to there. Because what happens is this will bring the iron ore into these two iron processing plants. Got a bus stop there, and then this will take it to here, which will be the store. So any iron ore that's produced, so any iron ore that's turned into iron will be put into here, which will then be put into this. But if this can't keep up, we'll be able to, we've got the option of exporting the iron ore directly. Okay, now comes the even more fun part, and that is how the heck are we going to get up there with a cableway? I'd like to put the cableway thingy in here, whatever it's called. Let me just see. We have to have a big cable station. Actually, I think it might pick up more if we actually had it down here, isn't it? Because what we can do is put the residential area in here. So Maybe if we put it about there. Problem's going to be getting up this slope. We're going to go with the heavy cableways, not because it's there, but the problem I find with these is these are all the same, but I don't feel, well, we'll give it a go just to see. See, these only extend that high. Don't think we're going to get across there. Let's just see the difference. I think I am going to go with the heavier ones. I think. I mean, they're not expensive to build. It's not like, I mean, it's not like they require vast amounts of. That's not going to go. So we're going. This is where the fun starts. You also got to get the directionality right with the roads. I think if I can get right, we're gonna have to cross this railway line. What we're aiming for is up there somehow. Hopefully, that's green. Hopefully that will. Kind of hoping that this will work. Okay, we'll have to put another one about there. We're gonna have to turn this round that way. This is where it's gonna get a little bit icky. It's I can get in about there. Close it. Yeah, so I put it this about here. Yeah, I know it's too low. Stop complaining. And if we turn it round that way, just put you right on the brow of the hill like that. Hopefully these are all going to connect up. You can come that way. You can come that way. You can come that way. Oh, that was a little bit. I think we can come that way. You can come that way. You can connect to there. You can connect to there. Oh, that one's going to go that way. That's okay. We're gonna have to turn this one round. This always makes me nervous when we got to do this, because this is where you find out it doesn't actually connect, or it refuses to connect, and then you've got to do it all over again. No, no. Right, I think it's green. So that gives us the cableway all the way up to the top here. What that should do is means that we won't have to use buses to get people up to here. Now, the one question which if any of you guys can answer it, is if I got a cableway there, if I put a bus stop here and then decide to bus people to there, will the workers actually go all the way through from that? Actually, that reminds me about another comment somebody posted. Sorry. I just want to go and check something in here. Oops. It's to do with the actual bus routes on this station. Yeah, I must admit, I keep forgetting about this where it says percentage load. This is where you actually tell the buses how much of their internal capacity So like this can carry 20 workers, but if you don't, if the bus is over capacity, you can actually restrict them. And the other thing also is with the unload. So if you've got 2 stops, you could say pick up your 20 workers, drop 10 at this point, and then go along the route and drop 10 at another point. I must admit, I've known it's there and I keep forgetting about it, but I try and balance the capacity of the bus with the size of where they're actually going to, except of course with mines, because you never get enough workers into mines. But say for example, power station, got 20 workers. My kind of calculation is that if I've got a bus that can carry 20 workers and the route's a point where 2 vehicles are being able to move backwards and forwards, I'd rather have 2 buses that have the capacity of 20, so that technically they're coming backwards and forwards. But it does depend on the length of routes. But that's the way it's going to, that's the way I look. That's the way I prefer to think about it, but it's not always necessarily true. This is a bit of gravel. These guys have got nothing else to do just at the moment. How much trouble is I don't want to steal. No, see, we're that's gonna have to wait, I think, because we're doing it because I haven't actually set up the other route now. By now my 2 dumpers should be ready to go. Where are they? Ultra, you are. I think with a distance that these guys have got to go, I think that the two dumpers on each one on that would be enough, I think. Let me just pick that up. And then we'll put you there. Just a bit of line spacing. Not that it makes any difference because these take longer to load than anything else. The only other thing I need to do is, where is the secondary gas station? We need this to be sent full of fuel. That gets going like that. What that should do is get some more gravel coming into here. I mean, eventually, let's just plan it while I'm here. Construction office, where's the gravel? I would like another one. Nice to put. That's 76. That's 91% there. 92%. Put that there. High value. Get you built there. So we've got this built here. We put the heating plant in last. Now, one thing I have been looking at is this little mount here on the top, and I'm kind of thinking if I can level this off. It depends on whether I got the and I want to push this out a little bit like this. There's going to be a little bit of a risk. What I want to build up here is one of my and what I want to do up here is actually build one of my you could say my long-lasting industries, and that is for the production of boards. So I just want to level this out enough to do it. Actually, I'm going to pause because when you pause it seems to go a little bit quicker sometimes. I think that is probably big enough for what I'm looking for. I know I've destroyed all the trees, but we can replant them. And what I want to do is put in a wood cutting post up here, and want to get it so it can go as far over into this wooded area here, like that. And then, because I found that one wood cutting post definitely connected to railways is often sufficient for the whole map, because boards are only ever really used in construction, and generally not that much actually. I mean, the biggest use is often in tunnels and stuff like that, but it's never really a major industry when you compare it with the like steel and gravel. I mean, gravel use a phenomenal amount of what we call it, use a phenomenal amount of gravel. I mean, the stats can be quite frightening actually. And so what I want to do is just put this up here. Kind of thinking we're going to go asphalt. We're going to bringing out here. Come on, game, you can do it. And then we're bringing the asphalt. Well, flashed green very briefly there, but we've now got that there. And just make sure you can connect there. You can connect there. Oh, what happened there? Haha, a bit of road in the middle of nowhere, which will never get built. I kind of, well, we're going to need 2 workforces out here, so I'm going to put a bus stop in, or plan a bus stop. We can put a bus stop about like that, and then of course we'll put the corresponding footpaths in. This one, because I put this in now, that can be, so accept that. And then once this is built, we'll put this road connection in. Now comes the fun bit, because what I want to do is connect this to the railway. This open hole, open store. Keep saying open hole rather than open store. And so what we're thinking is railway bridge. Going to need to be electrified. That's a road, not a bridge. Sorry. I should have realised that. What I want to do is I want to use this slope to see if I can push the railway across this edge. I'm not. Oh, I've got fire again. Sorry. I've just built that. Wait, stop it, game. Then again, if it gets knocked down, has this actually been that road been assigned? Is it? Yeah, it's missing resource, gravel. Yeah, let me just check. This is the problem. Once you start building roads, it's the gravel disappears almost like infinity. I think this one we might be able to get, because it's only 9.5 tons. We could probably get another truck on this. Let me see. Maybe a third one here. Maybe another third one on this one as well. The trouble is, if you build a queue up here and then this excavator wanders off, what can happen is that they won't actually the excavator waits in the queue to get back into the junction. Let me just see, are we actually gaining anything down here? Oh, we got 32 tons. It's not terrible. Let's just pause the game again. Sorry. Back to what we were doing. Now, I've got to be a bit careful because I don't want to damage the road. push this out a little bit. Maybe that would be enough. I think we may have to lift this a little bit, which I know it's a contradiction on the side of a hill, but let's lift this a little bit. Well, create a bit of a landing point here. I think this is the first serious. I think that's the best we're going to get, isn't it? So just check this. That can come there. Now, that comes off the side of the hill like that. Now, what I need to do is run this. That come down. No. Bring it down in stages. It makes it a little bit messy. I think what we'll do is we'll come down like that. Now, review. Now, what I want to do is we're not going to export boards because boards become increasingly worthless as the game goes on. But what I want to do is come round like that. I think we're... Where's the junction? The junction's about there. What I'd like to do is come in about there. And then you can come up there. Now, I'm not going to double the bridge because that distance is too short, really. And it's going to be expensive. And we're not going to run that many board trains up here. So what we'll do is just come in like that. And then just accept that. What that means is that this area here can produce boards which should be stored in there, and then with the distribution office that's down here, can send boards around the map as and when they're required. And just to finish this little bit off, pre-plant the area here, where we demolished, ready for when this is built. I mean, obviously this is a long-term bit of planning. Just let the game run. A little bit more in here, like that. And so in theory, that should be my entire board production for the rest of the map. Well, this area should produce enough boards to fulfill the requirements for the rest. And what that means is that this area here will eventually get taken apart. Well, what was that? That looked interesting. We'll type, got a Taz 63. Oh, this is a new mod. I think I've only just subscribed to this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but and I actually subscribed because of the start date, which was 1948. Well, actually, I don't think it was 1948. And I'm really, and it looked a pretty interesting mod. So I'm just going to take a look. And I think it covers a whole load. There we are. Well, I mean, it's not brilliant. But then again, we're in 1946. Nothing's particularly that good. Capacity. See, it's not in the high. I think it's a pretty good utilitarian. I mean, it's not. It's relatively cheap. I just wonder if there's a dumper version of it. No. About open hole version or whatever. I'm pretty sure it had multiple. It had multiple. Oh, maybe it didn't. Okay. Oh well. We might find a use for it. The other thing I've got up here is our cement trucks here, which are unloading in the customs office. Now, another thing I need to do is start thinking about recovering the free construction offices. I just want to do a quick check. Let's find a bit of empty space somewhere. Oh, that's something else I need to do. Sorry, I'll talk about that in a minute. I want to find a bit of empty space, and what we need, need 3 distribution offices. There's 3 of them. I've still got three distribution offices I need to recover. There's 3 construction offices still in use somewhere on this map. I've got absolutely no idea where, but we need to recover those. The reason I want to recover these is the fact that I want to be able to use that once we start developing the northern sector of the map. I would guess that one of the free ones, this isn't one, this is a free one, isn't it? What we got here, we got county cranes. Actually, I've started opening up this one here. Yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll assign you to there, get you in one place. Send you there. What that should mean is I should then be able to destroy you. That will recover, should recover, and I think this county cranes, and I think this has got a mixture of cranes and excavators on it. Okay. To make sure this is part of my, double check the jobs. Right, this has been built. What I do want is, oops, better put this back on here. We need to start expanding. Oops, that needs to be built. Let's do. What's up with this one? No gravel. Yeah. Right. Now, while we're working on this town over here, the next thing I'm going to need to do is something I've forgotten all about, and that is we're going to need a power supply into here from over there. I think I'm going to, because we got to go that way, I think we'll put the power. We have to put a power line. That I don't want it. Just gonna use there. Oops. Give me a mud road. And that, what we got to do now is, I don't want 18 megawatts, 15 megawatts, 13. I mean, yes, we're going to draw a lot of power here with the mines and things like that, but we don't. I don't think we need 18. I think we're going to go to 13. Now the fun bit is we got to get across this river. Wow, she did it. That. I'm always suspicious when I cross rivers that it actually connects up. It's connected up, that's good. And what that will mean is that we will have power up into this area, and then we can start planning the distribution of the power in this area as well. The other thing, oh yeah, that's true. think I've made a mistake here, haven't I? Yeah, I've made a mistake. I need to break this line here. Because, of course, eventually this is all going to be electrified. And one thing we are going to need over here is another one of these thingies. The reason being is that this is going to be quite a busy line eventually, with exports and imports coming backwards and forwards and stuff like that. Therefore, the setup here without a power supply could cause problems in the long term. So, out next. This one has got an issue. Hate you, game. Sometimes I love this game. Sometimes this game is a absolute pain in the neck. A bit wavy that track is there, but we'll just have to live with it. What that will do mean it will ensure is that we will have a power into this area of the map when there's a lot going on. We've got a transformer over here, which means we're probably going to need one out here eventually to ensure that continuity of supply. Depends on how busy the track is. See, this area may not be quite that so busy, but you can never tell. Gravel, missing resource. What country road crew? You have definitely got a gravel connection, haven't you? Yeah. Why are you guys not? Oh, I think all the excavators. These guys don't have it. Oh, wow, hang on, let me just see. Oh, yeah, because I've made changes, haven't I? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know what's gone wrong. These guys need to be... it says prefab gravel. Needs to be built. I think the problem is that okay, they're moving now. For some reason they didn't think they needed to be part of it. Oh well. That's one of the hazards of when you're swapping round the different road structures. And of course when you're turning the roads off and on for purposes. Right, so we got snow plows out here. Now I've got one snow plow which can go there. It's not going to be that effective, but whereas now I was building this, but seeing we've actually planned this, if we put in because we need to get power into here. Okay, let me just see. Don't really want to take away the trees. I think I'm not planning on building any major buildings on this side of the road, except for maybe say a police station or something if I need it, because I want to keep this kind of open as a pollution barrier. So if we put that there, what was the where just that? I don't think we actually needed that much. I think I can drop this down to 6 megawatts because this is only going to be a local supply. And then what I can do is, I think I'll just plan this in. In fact, yeah, I'm just going to plan this in very quickly, guys. I realize that I've gone over time as usual. If I put you in, say, about here, the distribution office doesn't need that. If we put the substation in about there, I think I'll get all three. And then this with the heating plant might need quite a lot of power. Plus, we might put some extra down here. So, actually, I suppose I could keep it close to the road. I won't lose too many trees. I don't really want to. All these lovely trees that I've planted. And then you can come into there like that. Check that. What that will do is power this area. The only thing is it's going to take a little while to get the power over here, and I really would like that gas station built, but that's the way it is. And of course we're going to need power up to here as well, because otherwise we won't be able to do anything here. So we'll just have to put a power supply in here. Where is it? I can actually, that's only just in this area, is it? So I can kind of shorten the power supply. Whoops. Probably put that. What's the infrastructure? Oh, it's the power cable. Okay. I think we can tuck you out about there. Double check the road before I plan the route. Yep. So we got that there. This doesn't need that much in the way of power, so we could probably go for a minimal underground cable. Not sure, 0.5 megawatts might be a bit. Actually, we could go really cheap with the. Normally build with these, but I don't think this area is going to take that much in the way of power, is it? It's only a sawmill and what we call it. I mean, if it's not powerful enough, we just tear it down and rebuild it. It's not like this going offline will be the end of the world. I realise that I'm starting to go over time on this video, so this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.